you would be making over $1,500 a month in 20 years by putting in just $100 every single week. Hey, what's going on YouTube? So today I want to show you how investing $100 a week can have an impact for investing into dividends and long-term investing. So let's go ahead and jump on the computer and plug in some numbers into a calculator like we love to do here on the channel all the time, and just see how impactful this $100 can truly be for you, because I know that investing long-term can feel very daunting for a lot of us. So what we want to do is we're here on MarketBeat, and we're going to plug in some of our numbers here. Now, what I did was I went around and I got some information on what our average dividend yield is, which right now, right over here, you can see is average 2.22%. So obviously there's dividend stocks out there that pay more. There's a lot of them that pay way less than that, but that is our average. So we're going to go with that information here. You can see it's on dividend.com is where that information is being pulled from. And then I also wanted to see what the increase on dividends was for an average basis, right? And this is from Seeking Alpha, which actually we really love to use here on the channel all the time. So 51-year average, we are getting a dividend increase of 5.4%. Obviously, some years are going to be higher, some years are going to be lower. If you're not too familiar with what dividend increases are, it's when a company has been paying you a dividend, but then increases that amount, so you effectively get a raise and making more money on the stocks that you own without having to do much more work. It's a beautiful thing. It's actually my favorite thing when it comes to dividend investing. So we're going to be going around and we're going to plug these numbers in. Now, what we're going to do is talk about, again, putting $100 a week in. So we're gonna plug in some numbers here. So we're gonna go into here and we're gonna start off our account with $100 because we're gonna put $100 a week in. We're gonna start with 100. Make this easy, right? If you're brand new into investing, even $100 is a lot of money to put into something that you're not sure of. And I'm a big believer in starting off small, learning from your mistakes. If you're going through this process, I've made mistakes with investing, but starting off smaller and you'll definitely learn your path and where you want to go, and then you can start investing more if you want to. So right over here, you can see where it says annual dividend yield. We're going to put in the 2.22% that we got from earlier. So 2.22%. We're going to do a taxable account here today, but if you have a retirement account, you can go that route too. Annual contributions, because we said we're going to do $100. We're doing $100 a week. That is $5,200, so $5,200. Now, if you could do more, beautiful. If you can't do $100, put in what you can, even $10 a week. I actually did that at one point with my main portfolio. Is I did $10 a week until I continued to move forward. So don't be ashamed of only being able to put so much in. Do what you can. You will thank yourself in the future, or your future self will thank you, I should say. So as right here it says expected annual dividend increases. That's what we read about earlier, which the average is 5.4%. Now I'm a little bit worried if that might be a little too high, but seeing as our annual dividend is 2.22%, I feel that's pretty comparable right there. And it says distribution frequency. We are going to go on a quarterly basis. We're just going to base off this. Most companies pay out quarterly. Dividend tax rate, we'll leave at 15%. We won't mess with that today. And then expected annual share price appreciation. I'm going to kind of go on a little bit softer side here, and we're going to go with 6% increase on the stock price every year. Obviously, that's average, so some years higher, some years lower. And then we got the DRIP. So for those who might not know, this stands for Dividend Reinvestment Program. This is taking anything you earn from dividends from these companies paying you out and putting it right back into either the company that paid out or your overall portfolio, which is a beautiful thing. And then we're going to go ahead and show you what it's like for investing into this for 10 years. Now, before I hit calculate dividends, if you're somebody who's curious where you can open up a dividend portfolio, I highly recommend M1 Finance. That's what I use. This is my portfolio right over here. I set this up all together. It's a great app to be able to set and forget and kind of go work long-term for you when it comes to dividend investing. Now, I will have a link for them in the show notes down below for you if you would like to check them out. That actually does help support out the channel, but it gives you a chance to start opening up your account and getting your dividend portfolio up and running. I will also have a link for tutorials if you want to learn how to set up your account to look something relatively close to this, so that way you don't have to worry about getting everything all done yourself. I have those videos there for you as well. Now, let's go ahead and get back to the calculator and let's calculate this. So as a quick reminder, we put in $100 to get started. We put in $100, well, it says annually here, but it's $100 a week, 2.22% yield, and 5.4% increase on an annual basis. So let's see where we are 10 years from now if we invest $100. So check this out. So right over here, or if we invest $100 every single week, so we would be sitting at a balance, estimated of course, about $78,000 in the account, which is pretty phenomenal right over there. That's already a total return of almost 50%. And then our annual dividend income right there would be about $3,000 a year. So if you look about $3,000 divided by 12, you're looking at about $250 every single month coming in for pretty much having to do no extra work. And this is just within 10 years. I want to show you what an extra 5 years is going to do for you on all of these numbers, because it's pretty substantial. Also too, your yield on cost goes up to 5.7%. So if you hear a lot of people talking about, well, if I'm going to invest in dividends, I got to have 4% yield. That's great, but I'm not needing this money for a couple more years, 10, 20 years down the road. So getting started at 2.22% average and then having those increases, go into effect for me, I actually get well over 4% by the time I probably want to use this money. But again, let's show you how an extra 5 years has an impact on this. This is a beautiful thing. This is what compounding interest really does for you. Again, we're keeping all the same information here. But check this out. So right over here in the 15 years, we're going to be looking about $155,000, almost 100% return. Whew, I like that. And then we can see here our dividend income comes out to $7,710 every single year. So if we divide that by 12, right over here, that's $642. I mean, that is a huge jump up in just the 5-year time period. And then you can see your yield on cost, kind of cut that off. Yield on cost is almost 10%. I'm loving this, right? Let's go ahead and just plug in another 5 years. So we're looking at 20 years, and we're going to show you how big of an impact this is going to be for you. Again, we went from 10 to 15 and now to 20 years. And this is still staying at $100 a week. This is the important part, because we're not increasing the amount that we're putting in every single week, right? Because my hope is that if you get started with $100 a week, maybe eventually you can get to $150 a week, or even $200 or $250, whatever works for you that you can do. But this is saying that no matter what, we're sticking with $100 a week, and that's it. We're just investing this money and we're sticking with it. So right over here in 20 years, check this out. You will have almost $300,000, a total return of 178%. You would be getting an annual dividend income of almost $19,000, and you would also have a dividend yield of 18.15%. Let's see what this number comes out to right over here. So if you divide that by 12, you would be making over $1,500 a month in 20 years by putting in just $100 every single week. It's not a lot to have to work a little extra and put that money in, so that way your future self can have this money coming in on a regular basis without having to do any extra work. And it just keeps compounding after this, even if you leave that money back into the portfolio. Now, to get to these numbers that we just saw here today, you need to get your account up and running right away. So what I want you to do next is actually click this video right over here so you can learn how to open up your account so you can get started with investing for the long term. My name is Dennis, and I will see you in that next video.